It's officially Star Wars Day, so let's go ahead and rank all 12 of the Star Wars films. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Disney TV. If this is your first time here, welcome home. We're so glad to have you. And as I just said, it's Star Wars Day, so that means we're ranking all 12 of the Star Wars movies from my least favorite to my favorite. At the number 12 spot is the Clone Wars movie. Now this one, when it comes to all the other stories, outside of it being one of the shortest, in fact it is the shortest, it also is the weakest. I mean, you're talking about Season 1 Clone Wars versus like Season 7 Clone Wars, which obviously Season 7 is a much stronger story and, you know, all that stuff. So it's not like the best when it comes to that, and that's why it's ranked as low as it is. Coming in at number 11 is The Last Jedi. Now, over time, this movie has gone down a lot for me. I initially enjoyed it when it first came out in theaters, but the more I look at it, the more I just get kind of disappointed by it. You know, there are moments in this movie that just, it doesn't pain me, it's frustrating to say the least. The change in Luke's character, while his arc isn't bad, in fact, it's a very strong arc. I think for a lot of us, it just doesn't fit with what we had with Luke Skywalker, and also it doesn't fit with with what the Mandalorian is. Like, from going from, I'm not gonna fight you, father, to, I see my nephew's dreams, so I'm gonna kill him. Those two, to me, it just doesn't add up. And, of course, with the buildup of Snoke in The Force Awakens to it kind of falling flat there was also disappointing. This movie does have some great moments. The third act, when Luke Skywalker comes to Crate and he has that whole confrontation, that is great. All that's good. The first part of it is pretty decent. And Rey's arc, I do have to say, in the film is actually pretty good. It is enjoyable. But this movie, just the more I watch it, the more I notice things, and the more I feel disappointed. Coming in at number 10 is Solo. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with this movie. One, it came out pretty much at a bad time because of the backlash of The Last Jedi, but it's a pretty good film. It has great, enjoyable moments. L3 is a little annoying, but I think it's done on purpose. But it's great to see some of the stuff that Han Solo mentioned in the movies, you know, whether it was the original trilogy or the sequel trilogy, that we get to see. We get to see the Kessel Run. We get to see his initial relationship with Lando, you know, how he met Chewie and things of that sort that really allow us to see what happened with this character, and I think that is what makes it really, really great. Coming in at number 9 is The Phantom Menace. This is a pretty good movie. However, the dialogue is super, super weak. That's throughout the prequels, except for Episode 3, but we'll talk about that later. It's a decent movie. Jar Jar, again, is a little annoying. However, he has gotten a little better, I think, over the years. But it just, yeah, it's decent, you know. Anakin's alright in this. He's kind of whiny, which leads into the other movies. But, yeah, it's definitely an interesting film. Best part of this movie, obviously, is the Duel of Fates. I mean, come on, the soundtrack, Darth Maul. Overall, it's still an enjoyable film. Coming in at number 8 is Attack of the Clones. The reason why this film, for me, falls short is strictly because of Anakin and Padme's relationship. Not that the idea of their relationship is bad, it's the fact of the dialogue just sucks. Now, while yes, you could make a case that Anakin doesn't know how to flirt, you still can do a lot better than, I don't like sand, it's rough, coarse, and it gets everywhere. There's a lot better than you can use with that. That's where this movie falls flat, and that's why it's ranked so low. Other than that, it's a pretty enjoyable Star Wars film. The Battle of Geonosis is great. It's cool to see Mace Windu in combat for the first time with his purple lightsaber. Obi-Wan's arc through the movie is good, getting to meet Count Dooku, who's much more fleshed out compared to Darth Maul. And the Yoda scene is pretty cool. All the Yoda scenes are pretty cool. But, it's just that dialogue that really just kind of ruins the movie. Not ruins it, but it takes a step back. Coming in at number 7 is Rise of Skywalker. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I did enjoy the film when it first came out in theaters, and even when I saw it the second time, I still enjoyed it. Yeah, there are things that do bug me about this film. One of them is just some of the humor felt very childish, and the whole Rey Kylo thing, I still don't get it, but it's fine, I guess. And then the Palpatine thing, it was done okay at best, wasn't great. But there are certain aspects of this film that kind of feel like a good, solid finish, at least to this trilogy. Now, in my personal opinion, I do have the Skywalker Saga, episodes 1 through 6, but then I have the Skywalker Legacy, episodes 7 through 9. That's just kind of how I process it, Yes, all the stuff is canon. Yes, all the stuff is what it is. But it still felt like a pretty good finish, at least to the sequel trilogy that we got. Coming in at number 6 is The Force Awakens. Now, while yes, this pretty much is a almost carbon copy of A New Hope, it's still a good start back into Star Wars after 10 years of us not seeing a new Star Wars movie. I enjoyed it. I don't really have any complaints. It was a fun film, a solid re-entry into Star Wars, and I personally enjoyed it. Into the top 5 with number 5 is Rogue One. I do enjoy this film, but I have, I think, some more complaints than most people do. For me, the tone of the first 2 acts felt very, very slow, but it's the third act where this movie truly shines. From the action, from the visuals that we see, all the way up to the end with that Darth Vader hallway scene, which is chef's kiss. It's so, so good. But this is a good story. It was a huge departure for Star Wars, as it was the first of its kind, this idea of an anthology film. But it was really, really enjoyable. The characters are fun. And yeah, it was good to get back into the original trilogy in a new, refreshing sort of way. Coming in at number 4 is A New Hope, the original Star Wars movie to release ever, and it is still amazing to this day. While yes, a lot of the practical effects and things that were done in this movie don't live up to the now CGI'd world that is today. But it still is a classic. It's a fun film. It's a great story. The battle of good versus evil. And it just really is a fun ride. And anytime someone asks me where to start in Star Wars, that is where I tell them to start. Coming in at number 3 is Return of the Jedi. This one is a lot of fun. It's a great ending to the Skywalker saga. Again, 1 through 6 Skywalker Saga, 7 through 9 Skywalker Legacy Trilogy. That's how I have it separated. But it really is such a great ending to that sort of saga of Luke and Anakin's story, mostly, particularly Anakin's story. But it really is just a lot of fun from beginning to end, and I just enjoy it. It's one I go to and revisit often, just because in my opinion, it's the most fun Star Wars movie. Coming in at number 2 is Revenge of the Sith, the memeiest of the Star Wars films, but at the same time, it is a wild ride. It's a lot of fun, it's action-packed, and it is quite emotional at times. Of course, while it has strengthened due to the addition of the ending of Season 7 of the Clone Wars with the Siege of Mandalore arc, this film does stand really big on its own. From the action that we see, whether it's Mace Windu and Palpatine, Yoda versus Palpatine, or Anakin versus Obi-Wan, all of the fights in this are fantastic. The dialogue isn't that much of a problem. It is a little bit, but it still holds well. It is really a fantastic Star Wars film. But coming in at number 1 is, of course, The Empire Strikes Back. Come on. This is widely known as the best Star Wars film, and I do really enjoy it. Everything from the musical score to the characters we get introduced to, like Yoda, the life lessons that this movie has, and with the biggest plot twist of all time with Darth Vader. And it is an amazing story from beginning to end. Every single scene. It's not only the best Star Wars film, but I dare to say it's one of the best films in movie history. And that's it. That is my complete ranking of all 12 Star Wars movies. Now, I know they're the Ewok movies, but, you know, those were made for television, and so I don't really think it counts, if that makes sense. Same thing with the holiday special, stuff like that. Those were made for television. So they don't count, unfortunately. Let me know in the comments down below, what is your favorite Star Wars movie? I would love to know. I shared mine. I'd love to know yours. Anyway, with that, thank you all so much for watching. Really hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe down below and hit the bell to be notified for more videos on Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, the parks, and so much more. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a fantastic day, and may the Force be with you. Goodbye.